Hello, welcome back to this video, and today we're going to look at how to punch the liver. And this is one of the most useful punches that you can encounter in any martial arts, including boxing. And you're gonna see it is studied in every martial arts. The only thing is that there's some controversies because some people say, well, this way would not work, this way would work. So hopefully I would be able to demystify this by first explaining the anatomy of the liver. So the liver is kind of like a triangular shape that goes all the way from the right side, thicker, towards the left side. And together with the fact that it's covered partially by the rib cage, it makes it very hard for you to have access through the left side. That's one of the reasons why when you punch the liver, you use actually the right side of the person, and that's why you train your left hook. Now, normally when you train the left hook, and you're gonna see that a lot of in boxing, you train to punch. But you train to punch taking into account the fact that, for example, in boxing, you have gloves. Keep in mind that what I'm about to explain, it can be used with gloves, but most of the times it's taking into account the anatomy of your hand. And now, most likely you're gonna see these a lot, particularly as I said before in boxing, you're gonna go your classic hook by dropping your body and going towards the back of the person, targeting around middle to the right side. So I actually like to explain it very simply. If you put your hand on or one finger on the belly button and the other one on the side of your body, in this case next to the ribs, and you go towards the middle, that is partially, if I put my hand like this, where the liver is going to be mostly, right? The most of the meat of the liver is going to be positioned in that area. So when you look at it from your perspective on the other person, you're going to see that the belly button is there, and then you have on the other side, the side of the body, in this case right underneath the ribs, you have right here the sweet spot in which you can punch the liver. Now, there are two ways of doing that. One is going straight towards the back, which is the one that I was showing you before, but when you actually want to maximize the damage on the liver and making sure that the other person actually has a harder time, what you want is to push the liver upwards. So it's kind of like a combination between a hook and an uppercut. You still are going to go lower and you still are going to come up, but in this case, as you can see, I'm actually changing the position of my hand from palm facing side to palm facing up. In particular, when I make contact, I'm going to push upwards, kind of like a corkscrew motion going upwards. So that's actually the perfect way for me to target the liver going upwards. And again, it's going to be, rather than only towards the side, it's going to be 45 degrees backwards and a little bit upwards, right? So again, backwards towards the person and upwards because you want, as I said before, to push the liver a little bit up. You can do that as after a cross, for example, jab, for example, and in this case, you can go upwards, right? And that is one of the main uses that you are going to encounter in boxing. But there's also one other cool way to do that. Why? Because if I do it off of a defense after a punch, in this case a jab, moving out of the way, and I'm going to go, that is two motions. One is moving out of the way, and second one is coming back. And yes, there's a chance for you to do it quickly enough, right? But there's also a chance for you that the other person saw you and punched you in the face as you were punching in the face, and we kind of like meet each other's punch, right? Me, I'm gonna punch on my face, and then I'm going to punch you on your liver. So yeah, you might win or you might not, but you're still going to be punched in the face. So again, there's risk for everything, and what I'm about to show you is not exempt of that risk, but I wanted to mention that that's not the only way in which you can do. You can also do it with his hand. It's just a little bit more difficult and different, but keep an eye that this is actually being used, for example, in Kyokushin sometimes when they start punching in that manner. But the way that we're going to do it today is going to be more like Kajukenbo style. In this case, the person is punching you, you're going to parry the same way, and you're going to use this hand to go in the same corkscrew motion, going upwards. Again, here, going upwards. And as you can see, it's in one motion. I don't wait, I just avoid and punch. The only challenge, and I want you to see it, is that I have to lower my hand to go upwards after that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do that. So look, I'm going to go lower and lower my hand and go upwards with the punch. So I'm going to try to make that happen as close as possible to one beat here, this. So as you can see, I'm using the same movement, but from this end going upwards. Now, even if, and this is the advantage that I see, if the other person decides to punch you, you can lean back, that's one option, or here and move back. which is also another option. It's much easier to escape that way, or even better, here to escape by just moving sideways, so that way you can remain with certain range. So again, two main ways of practicing this. One, as I said before, evading and going upwards with, in this case, my left hand, or by evading and stepping and using my right hand on the inside, not skipping a beat, but actually doing the opposite, trying to get as close as possible to one beat. So hopefully this is useful, and hopefully now, because of those details, it's going to be easier for you to identify how to target the liver, how to punch the liver, particularly that motion, the corkscrew motion going upwards, going 45 degrees, rather than going just straight towards the side. So if you want to watch a little bit more about this and how I deep dive into this subject, please go to my YouTube channel so you can see an entire, as I said before, deep dive on this subject. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I see you in the next one. Whoosh.